Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. So we'll sing Ram Kirtan for 2 minutes. So then we'll start the class. Rama 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 Sita Ram, Rama 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 Sita Ram, Rama 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 Sita Ram, Rama 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 Sita Ram. Hare Krishna, devotees can follow. For 2 minutes we can have Ram Kirtan. We can start the class. Rama 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 Sita Ram. Devotees can follow.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Rama 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 Sita Ram.
Rama 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 Sita Ram.
Rama 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 Sita Ram. Rama Sita Ram.
Rama 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 Sita Ram.
Rama 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 Sita Ram.
Rama 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 Sita Ram.
Rama 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 Sita Ram.
Rama 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 Sita Ram.
Rama 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 Sita Ram.
Rama 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 Sita Ram.
Rama 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 Sita Ram.
Rama 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 Sita Ram.
Rama 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 Sita Ram.
Rama 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 Sita Ram.
Rama 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 Sita Ram.
Rama 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 Sita Ram.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya
Jaya
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada,
Jaya
Jaya
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Jaya
Prabhupada, Jaya
Prabhupada,
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 Prabhupada, Jaya
Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya
Jaya Jaya
Jaya Jaya
Prabhupada,
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 Jaya Jaya
Prabhupada, Jaya
Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada.
Hare Ram Sankirtan ki Jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra
Jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki Jai, Shri Rama Vijayotsav ki Jai, Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
ज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीगुरुं साग्रजातं सद्गुरुनाथं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णस्वादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. Now the time is 6:11, so we'll try to complete it by 7 o'clock. So we'll not exceed the time. So I'll try to cover this wonderful pastime of the Yuddha Kanda. So where the scene is set up for the war, and the war is about to start. So this day is called as Rama Vijayotsav. So Rama Vijayotsav is the day where Lord Rama gains victory over Ravana. So in Satyuga, it is mentioned that the demons were living on two different planets. So the demigods were living on one planet, and the devatas and the rakshasas, they were living on the other planet. So the demons. And in Treta Yuga, so they were living in the same planet but in different places, different continents. So in Dwapara, it was in the same family, and in Kali Yuga, it is in the same person. Both the demons and demigods are living in the same person. It is about the mentality. So a person has both divine and demoniac qualities in the age of Kali Yuga in the same person. So therefore, in Kali Yuga, so it is more of killing the demoniac mentality. Then if the Lord has to slain, then he has to slain everybody. So because everybody has demoniac qualities, but one has to develop divine qualities. So by the process of Krishna consciousness, and we have to defeat the demoniac qualities within the same person. So now, before coming to this point, let's go to the story of how the Lord conquered Ravana. So it so happened at the beginning of Yuddha Kanda, so Hanumanji, so he sent as a messenger to the kingdom of Ravana. So Hanumanji goes as a messenger, and he is desperate to meet Mother Sita. He wants to know the well-being of Sita, well-being of Mother Sita. So he is looking for Mother Sita everywhere in Ravana's palace. First he goes to First he enters the gate, and in the gate he finds the fortress. The guardian of the fort is Lankini. So she is the like the guardian of that fort guardian of the fort. And Hanuman disguises himself as a very small monkey, but still she is able to trace Hanumanji, and Hanumanji immediately grows up in size. So he slaps the Rakshasi, and the Rakshasi falls down dead. So it was, and the Lankini pronounces that the day somebody defeats me and enters Lanka, so that day, it is from that day the fall of Lanka has begun. So that is the indication. That is the indication that the day somebody defeats me and kills me, so the downfall of Lanka begins from that day. So Hanumanji, after killing Lankini, so the fortress of Lanka, he enters the um, city of Lanka. So he enters the palace of Ravana, and he's trying to find Sita, Mother Sita, everywhere. So finally, it dawns on him that Mother Sita cannot be anywhere here. So he enters the palace of Ravana, and this is called as the Sundarakanda portion. So where the opulence of Ravana's palace is mentioned, where where Ravana is in Ravana's opulence is mentioned. Many beautiful women are there in the palace, and so especially the inner quarters of Ravana's palace, and Hanumanji is seeing all these beautiful arrangements made for Ravana's pleasure. So, but in his heart of hearts, he is least disturbed. So that is where you can see how the devotee of the Lord is not disturbed by the external circumstances. So always completely we can see that Hanuman is completely absorbed in the thoughts of Lord Ram, and he is least disturbed by the external situation. So many of the women were not properly dressed. Uh, they were sparsely dressed, and they were completely immersed into intoxication, and many of them were sleeping in compromised positions. But Hanumanji was least disturbed seeing all this external external. He was least disturbed by the external situation surrounding him. So this is the heart of a devotee, so that he is least disturbed by the external situations or the temptation posed by the material energy of the Lord, or the temptation posed by Maya Shakti. So finally it dawns on him that I'm looking for Sita, Mother Sita, in a wrong place. So, and finally he makes an aerial survey of the place, and finally he finds that somebody is weeping and wailing for Lord Ram. She calling out names of Lord Ram, 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 and crying out piteously for Lord Rama. So finally he sees that under the tree is a uh, very sattvic Mother Sita sitting and wailing for Lord Ram. So, and Hanuman disguises himself as a very small, he takes a shape of a bumblebee, and he is sitting in the tree at the next day morning, and he is observing the situation the whole night, observing Mother Sita. The next day Ravana comes, threatens Mother Sita, so, and tells her that if you don't submit to me within a short time, I'm going to kill you. So this is his usual threatening, which he is trying to tempt the Sita to tell her, and somehow or the other threaten her and subjugate her to his whims and fancies. But Mother Sita is least disturbed indeed. She's always, not even a moment, she's forgetting Lord Ram. So the Lord is always in the inner core of the heart of Mother Sita, and she's least disturbed by all these different conjuring tricks um, uh, made by Ravana. So finally, Hanuman, after Ravana leaves, so Hanumanji appears before Lord Rama, before Mother Sita, and Hanumanji tells Mother Sita that am the messenger of Lord Ram. So I have been sent by Lord Ram. But Mother Sita is not in a position to believe Hanuman, because all through her stay in Ashokavana, so she has been somewhere the other tormented by Ravana's tricks in trying to subjugate Mother Sita. But his least, but that's how she is not in a position to believe though Hanumanji has appeared on behalf of Lord Rama. So then Rama tells some of the intimate pastimes that has happened between Mother Sita, because uh, Lord Rama also knew that Mother Sita would not be in a position to believe Hanumanji. So some of the confidential pastimes were revealed to Hanumanji so that he can narrate and convince Mother Sita. So all this confidential pastimes was narrated before Mother Sita, and he also presented the Rajamutrika given by Lord Ram. So after presenting the Rajamutrika, Mother Sita is fully convinced that uh, convinced that he is the bona fide representative of Lord Ram, which Lord Ram has sent to pacify Mother Sita. So Mother Sita is pacified. He gives the information that very soon Lord Rama is coming with a huge army of monkeys to attack the city of Lanka, and we will defeat Ravana, and Mother Sita can be taken back. Hanumanji makes a proposal that, Mother, I can take you right away here, right away from this place. So, but Mother Sita refuses the proposal, saying that this is not proper etiquette, because then the prowess of Lord Rama cannot be proved. So it is the proper duty of the husband to come and save, and Mother Sita, as a chaste wife of Lord Rama, she expects this honor that she is saved by the husband. So with this in mind, she refuses the proposal. Hare Krishna. So with this, then Mother Sita also gives the Chudamani to Hanumanji. Hanumanji flies back to Hanumanji. Before going back, so he creates he wants to also testify the strength of the opponents. So he uh, creates a massacre in the Ashokavana. So he starts uprooting the trees. So he starts he he puts the Rakshasas in a very dangerous situation. He fights with them. He kills many of them. So, and then it's mentioned that he performs so many. He creates a havoc. He creates a havoc like a situation in the whole of Ashokavana. That Ravana, the message is very soon reaches Ravana, and he sent some of his very close associates to arrest Hanumanji. So Hanumanji gets into a very fierce mode, and he is fighting with many of Rakshasas. So many of the powerful Rakshasas who were sent by Ravana, they were all killed by Hanumanji. So and finally Indrajit had to appear on the scene. So Indrajit appears and he fires a Brahmastra. So after firing the Brahmastra weapon, so the Hanuman is already blessed that he will not be injured by any weapons which is sent by the demigods. But Brahmastra also would not harm Hanumanji. So, but out of respect for Hanumanji offers obeisances to uh, the Brahmastra weapon, and the Brahmastra weapon just ties Hanumanji, and he's taken to the court of Ravana. So when he's taken to the court of Ravana, so he's not offered a seat. So Hanumanji makes a seat out of his own tail and sits in a position much above Ravana. So then, then the whereabouts of Hanumanji is discussed, and then finally Ravana wants to capture Hanumanji, kill him, but Vibhishana stops him. That it is not a proper etiquette, that the messenger has to be treated in a way, and especially killing of the messenger is not does not fit to the reputation of Ravana. So finally, then they finally decide that the tail of a monkey is very, very precious to a monkey. So set fire to his tail. So it is mentioned by the acharyas that so though the Rakshasas, they were trying to set fire to the tail of Hanumanji, so they started tying Hanumanji's tail with a cloth. So it is mentioned that no matter how much ever they were trying to bind the tail of Hanumanji with the cloth, the tail was the clothes were falling short. So finally, uh, even the upper garments of the ladies had to be brought to tie the tail of Hanuman. This is the version given by the acharyas. So finally, Hanumanji agrees, and finally Hanumanji himself comes to terms, and they set fire to the tail of Hanumanji. And Hanumanji, it is said that they were not setting fire to the tail of Hanumanji, but they were setting fire to their own fortune. So that is the version of the acharyas. So immediately Hanumanji flies in the air, and he sets some fire to all the palaces of of the ministers and the kings and the people and who are all supporting Ravana. So the fire is set to the entire Lanka city. So and Hanumanji uh, flies setting fire to the Lanka, and goes back to Lord Sri Ram. So after going to Lord Sri Ram, he tells him that he met Mother Sita, and he also gives the Chudamani. So Lord Rama, so seeing the Chudamani, he is remembering Mother Sita and feeling intense separation from Mother Sita. So then Hanumanji is appreciated by Lord Rama for his wonderful task of meeting Sita, and this message was uh, the message of Sita, Mother Sita being alive and being safe in Ashokavana, and this message having reached, since Hanumanji was the instrument in bringing this message to Lord Rama was very much appreciative of Hanumanji. He is telling Hanumanji that I'm not able to repay for the service you have rendered to me. So I don't have sufficient means, because I'm staying in forest. I don't have sufficient means to reward you. But the only reward I can give is my embrace. So Lord Hanumanji is embraced by Lord Rama. So we see this famous picture of many times we see this famous picture of Lord Hanumanji being embraced by Lord Rama. It's a very famous picture. So and Hanumanji is completely satisfied with this embrace of Lord Rama. So it is said that there are three kinds of servants. So three kinds of servants. The first kind of a servant is, or first class servant is one who not only does the task which is given by the master, but also accomplishes more than what the master would expect from him. So, and the second category of a servant is one who who just does the task given by the master. So just accomplishes, though he is qualified of doing more, but still he does whatever is designated by the master. He is said to be a mediocre servant. So the third class of servant is one, though he is qualified, but he does not accomplish the task given by the master. He is said to be a third class servant. So here Hanumanji falls in the category of a first class servant of Lord Ram. So we see that Hanumanji, by his own example, is teaching us how we should serve the Supreme Lord. So though he was just given the task to uh, to see, to just visit Mother Sita, just inquire the well-being of Mother Sita and come back. But still, he as a out of his own accord, he takes up a greater service. He takes up a greater interest in testifying the strength of the opponents, so that already they were preparing for the war, so that things can be planned in a better way to attack the enemy. So it is a greater task. So we see that in the course of Hanumanji causing the disturbance in the Ashokavana, so Ravana gets terrified that see, he is one enemy, he has come as a messenger. So many thoughts passing through Ravana's mind. So he is just a single monkey. So he is coming with a huge army of monkeys. So how am I going to face him? Such a situation, thoughts started crossing Ravana's mind. So then Ravana started contemplating on how to wage the war. So before waging the war, uh, so he started, because of the catastrophe uh, caused by Hanumanji after setting fire to the Lanka. So Ravana becomes very thoughtful and he wants to make a careful planning before he can wage the war with Lord Rama. So he called his council of ministers and asked them to give their suggestions. He said that, so to accomplish any task, three things have to be. The first thing that has to be done is to have a proper council from the ministers and the well-wishers who are uh, well-wishers of the king. So he summons for the council of ministers, and all the ministers come. They are all assemble for a meeting. So and Ravana starts taking counseling from all of them. So many of them were fearful of Ravana. So and many of them. So it is mentioned that so a decision can be taken in three ways. So a good decision, a bad decision, and a mediocre decision. First kind of a decision is that, so is that which is done after weighing the pros and cons, and in conjunction with the religious principle. If you take a decision in conjunction with the religious principle and after weighing the pros and cons, so then it is said to be a first class decision. The second class decision is uh, or a mediocre decision is that where a person so depends more on his mental and intellectual faculties, his own experience, and after much deliberation takes his own decision, said to be a mediocre decision. And third kind of a decision is done without, is you take a decision, make a decision, you also put it into action without taking note of the consequences of making the choice. So if the consequences of making the choice is not deliberated and if a person just jumps into action, it is called as a bad decision. So these three kinds of decisions. So here, though Ravana is trying to get the council of ministers, in the core of his heart, um, he has his own plans of plans of um, plans of coming at a decision, and where he has already made a decision not to return Mother Sita. So many of the ministers, they were all trying to flatter Ravana and try to induce him to. They were all trying to artificially glorify Ravana, and Ravana was also in the inner core of his heart expecting the same thing, that people just flatter him and praise him. So and go by his go by the decision made by him. So except for a very few people who were really his well-wishers like Vibhishana, they made the right decision. So Ravana, actually Vibhishana reminded Ravana, see, what decision you are going to make is going to decide the fate of the entire Rakshasa dynasty. So you have to be very careful making a decision. And you have already Lord Rama's strength is already testified at Janasthan. So where he single-handedly massacred all the 14,000 soldiers, including Kara and Dushana, were considered very powerful Rakshasas. So Lord Rama had actually shown his prowess, that he is not an ordinary king. So his prowess is equal to that of Lord Vishnu. So don't you're playing with fire. So in your best interest, it is in the best of your interest that you return back Mother Sita. This was the advice given by Vibhishana, but Vibhishana's advice was not taken into consideration it was because Ravana had already decided that he will not return back Mother Sita. So he was so much enamored by the beauty of Mother Sita, so that his consciousness was already clouded. So anybody in this material, any attachment in this material world is like that. Any attachment in this material world, so will always cloud the consciousness of a person. And when a person is clouded when his consciousness is clouded, so he completely goes into the mode of ignorance. So in the mode of ignorance, a person is not able to make a right choice, is not able to decide what is right, or what is wrong. So he feels that under the influence of the mode of passion and ignorance, he feels whatever he does is right. So, and Ravana was also in the same position, completely covered by the mode of ignorance. So, and he had already decided that he will not return back. He had so much faith in his own prowess and the prowess of his established kinsmen and soldiers who were very powerful and who had defeated even the demigods in heaven. So he had so much faith, and Ravana was such a powerful ruler that he had captured all the 14 planetary systems, so including the planet of Yamaloka. So, and the fight, when he went to Yamaloka, the fight went to such an extent that Yamaraj had to use the rod of death. So if the rod of death is used, the person will surely die. So, but Lord Brahma comes and advises him, see, he is already blessed by me. So you are not supposed to use this weapon, the rod of death. So Yamaraj disappears from Yamaloka. So he has the control over all the 14 planetary systems, including the planet of Yamaraj. So where the sinful people are punished for their sinful activities. Indeed, he had control over all the demigods. Even the demigods were shivering in fear of Ravana. So even if Ravana would raise his eyebrows, they would actually faint in fear. So such was the situation which was faced by the demigods. So under the tyrant rule of Ravana. So mm, already for such a powerful ruler, it was completely uh, a matter of his false ego. So to return back Mother Sita. So he thought that so what these two human beings simple he did not understand the prowess of Lord Rama and Lakshmana. So they were the supreme. They did not understand that they were the supreme personality of Godhead. So because he was completely covered, his consciousness was completely covered. So deluded by pride. So pride is another of the different kinds of intoxicants. So the intoxication of pride of one's own wealth, position, prowess. So these things are considered to be the most intoxicant, is the most powerful intoxicant of the all kind of intoxicants available in this world. If one is deluded by pride, especially the pride of wealth, so then that person is severely intoxicated to the extent that he cannot regard anybody in this material world. So such people are always their fall down comes with the appearance of pride in their heart. So with pride comes fall down. Prabhupada always says, with pride comes fall down. Fall down follows your pride. So as soon as the pride is there, the person is already fallen. So this pride was the reason for Ravana's fall down. So and he was not in a position to take any good counsel of Vibhishana. So and Vibhishana was actually uh, the prowess of Lord Rama being praised by Vibhishana was intolerable for Ravana. So he rebuked uh, Vibhishana with many unkind words, and Vibhishana was not in a position to listen, and he immediately abandoned the company of Ravana. So along with 4 of his ministers, he immediately goes to the place where the camp of Lord Rama, Sugriva, Angada, Hanuman is situated. So with the huge army of monkeys, so on the other side of the ocean, so the army was stationed, and Vibhishana goes and surrenders to Lord Ram. So when Vibhishana goes and surrenders to Lord Rama, so many Sugriva is the first one to raise the doubt that so we don't know, we cannot accept Sugriva, we cannot accept Vibhishana. So because this may be the trick of Ravana, they may act like spies, they may be like they may come in the form of they may be spies, they may enter our army, and at the right moment they may uh, they may do the most uh, they may be the cause of the greatest danger. So was the suggestion given by Sugriva. So then Lord Rama also takes the counsel of others. So this is how you can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the knower of everything. So he is called as Maryada Purushottam. Lord Rama is called as Maryada Purushottam. So, and he is considering the views of everyone. So he is considering the views of Sugriva. Now he is turning towards Hanumanji. So Hanumanji said, "My Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You know what is right, what is wrong. So you can make the right decision. You can make the right choice." So finally, so he asked Jambavan, he asked the Angada and everybody. So they said that we can consider him, but we have to consider him with caution. So because he is coming from the enemy's camp, we have to consider him with caution. And finally, Lord Rama looks for Hanumanji's advice, and Hanuman tells him that, see, what I have observed from the version given by Vibhishana, and the way he has presented of his submission to join our army and support us, support our cause. So there is no duplicity in his heart. So suppose if there is a duplicity in a person's heart, so the duplicity can, suppose if a person has some malicious intention, or if he has a duplicitous behavior, so no matter whatever he tries to cover the duplicity or malicious behavior, that malicious behavior will be exposed. To a certain extent, it will surely be exposed. And when he is presenting the matter, I have observed his face, like, because face is the index of the mind. So Hanumanji is saying this, face is the index of the mind. So I don't see that his malicious intent, there is any malicious intention, and his submission and his surrender to you is completely non-duplicitous. So you can accept it. So taking Hanumanji's advice, so and Sugriva once again warns Lord Rama, my Lord, I don't know. So this may be a very tricky decision what we are making now. So then Lord Ram tells Sugriva, so even if the whole world were to come against me, so what this Lord Rama tells makes a very amazing statement. So he says, even if the whole world is suppose were to turn against me, so uh, with this fragment of my energy, I can destroy everything. So and anybody and Lord Rama also makes a very amazing statement. Anybody who takes my shelter and says that, my Lord, I am surrendered to you. So then, uh, then I make the statement that that person is given shelter for the rest of eternity. So Lord Rama narrates the story of a, a hunter and a pigeon. So a hunter has come to the shelter of a tree, and he has captured the he pigeon. So and the pigeon is in the captivity. So and the hunter kills the pigeon, the male pigeon, and he eats the pigeon also. So and the she pigeon, the female pigeon. So looking at this, she also comes and surrenders to the hunter. So because she feels that he is a guest of the tree. So he has taken the shelter of the tree. He is the guest of the tree. So it is proper for the pigeon to offer him something to eat. So the she pigeon goes and offers her life to the hunter. So this story is told by Lord Rama to Sugriva. If a pigeon can make a decision like that, so if a pigeon can show so much of courtesy to a hunter, so somebody has come and taken shelter of me. How can I refuse to give him shelter? So this is the words of Lord Rama. So anybody who takes the shelter of the Supreme Lord, so you can imagine. So what kind of a shelter can be offered? So I would like to narrate another pastime from the Sripadas from the line of Sri Sampradaya. So after Sripada Ramanujacharya, Parashara Bhattar takes the seat of Sripada Ramanujacharya. He becomes the head of the Mutt. He becomes the head of the Rangakshetra. So he is the spiritual authority there after Sripada Ramanujacharya. So completion of the pastimes from this mortal world. So Parashara Bhattar, he takes the lead. So Parashara Bhattar, once he hears this pastime, that when a hunter went into the forest, the hunter was surrounded by rabbits. So as a hunter, as you know that the hunter's heart is without mercy because his profession is to kill animals and eat. So and especially the people who are meat eaters, they are devoid of mercy. And these rabbits, they come and take shelter of the feet of the hunter. So and they are moving around his feet, and uh, they are nibbling his foot, and so they are moving around his foot and on his foot and all this. So the hunter, so who was supposed to, he was already hungry and he wanted to have some animal as his bait. But seeing this poor creatures taking shelter of his feet, his heart is moved with compassion for those rabbits, and he doesn't kill them, and he leaves and goes away. So hearing this pastime, Parashara Bhattar uh, uh, falls unconscious. So then after some time, so his servants wake him up. So he regains his consciousness, and the servants ask him, uh, uh, Maharaj, why did you fall unconscious hearing this story? So then Parashara Bhattar tells why he fell unconscious. He tells the story. After hearing the story, I was so much moved that a cruel hunter, so he took compassion on those rabbits who took shelter of his lotus feet. So I was just thinking about the compassion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So how much compassionate he should be. So towards his devotees who take the shelter of his lotus feet. So if a hunter's heart can be moved by the rabbits taking the shelter of the feet of a hunter, how much compassionate should the Lord be, who takes the uh, to his devotees who have taken shelter of his lotus feet. So this is how a pure devotee looks at the situation. So how much compassionate the heart of the Lord is. So and how much shelter he awards to his devotees. So here the statement of Lord Rama, so where he is giving this assurance to his devotees that whoever takes a shelter, whoever at least once tells that Lord, I am surrendered to you, so I give him shelter to the rest of the eternity. So this is a very famous statement in Ramayana, that how when devotees take shelter of Lord Ram, so he protects his devotees to the rest of the eternity. So that's how uh, we see this wonderful pastime of Lord Rama. So and many devotees in the past. So I have one or two instances from Chaitanya Charitamrita also to be discussed at this point of time. So at least one we can discuss that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so relieves the Brahmana of a doubt. So one Brahmana, so he was a very exalted Brahmana. So who was when Lord Chaitanya came on his South Indian tour. So it is mentioned that only twice that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went back to the same place from where he started. So one is the place of the Kurma Brahmana, and the second one is the place of second one is the place where he met this Brahmana who was a devotee of Lord Rama. So in the first instance, to give special mercy to Vasudeva Vipra. So because once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu leaves the house of the Kurma Brahmana, so Vasudeva Vipra, who was afflicted by leprosy. So on hearing the news of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arrival at Kurma Brahmana's house, he wanted to come and take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So by the time he could reach Vasudeva, the Kurma Brahmana's house, so Lord Chaitanya had already left. So, but hearing this news, Vasudeva Vipra's heart becomes completely morose. So, and he feels that he is very, very unfortunate. So, and he is, and tears are rolling down from his eyes. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Paramatma, who is sitting in everybody's heart. He comes back and embraces Vasudeva Vipra. So, when he embraces Vasudeva Vipra, the leprosy of Vasudeva Vipra is completely gone, and he is specially favored by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, and as we know that Vasudeva Vipra, he becomes very afraid because he has all his disease is completely cured, and he becomes a very young, handsome man. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells him. So then he makes his petition before the Lord. My Lord, I have become now handsome and young. I will become proud. Earlier, I had a diseased body, so I was humble. So after getting this body, I will become proud. So then Vasudeva, then the Lord Chaitanya tells him, so you keep chanting Hare Krishna all the time, and you'll never become proud. So this one instance when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes back the second time. And the second instance is when he meets his Brahmana who was a devotee of Lord Rama. So Lord Chaitanya meets his Brahmana. When he meets his Brahmana, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells him, I'm hungry now, you have to feed something, you have to feed me something. So then the Brahmana tells Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Lakshmana has gone to the forest to collect the wood. So once Lakshmana comes back collecting the forest, Mother Sita will cook, then I will feed you. This devotee is completely immersed in the thoughts of Lord Rama. So he is actually witnessing the pastime. So the part, as we see that the pastimes of the Lord are eternal, this devotee is actually experiencing Rama and the ongoing Ramayana. So because his consciousness is completely absorbed in the thoughts of Ramayana. So then, but that Brahmana is morose. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks him, so why are you morose? So then the Brahmana tells Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so Mother Sita is the purest of the pure, but I have a doubt that how could Ramana, so how could Ravana can even touch Mother Sita and carry Mother Sita to Lanka? So this is the doubt I have. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so goes to he continues his tour. So and he goes to a place called Thiruvattar where there is Adikeshava temple. So there from one particular Purana, Varaha Purana or somewhere, he picks up uh, he picks up a leaf because those days everything was written on the palm leaves. So he collects that proof of how Mother Sita was not actually carried by Ravana, but it was actually Maya Sita. So it was then he brings the proof from Varaha Purana and shows it to the Brahmana. So and tells him that you see here that Mother Sita cannot be touched by somebody like Ravana. So she is the she is the internal potency of the Lord. So nobody can touch her. So what Ravana carried was actually Maya Sita. She was not the original Sita, but she was Maya Sita. So what Ravana, uh, whom Ravana carried to Lanka was not Mother Sita, but actually Maya Sita. So the original Sita was before before these things could happen. Mother Sita was kept under the shelter of Agnidev, the fire, the god of fire. So and only Maya Sita was in the presence of was carried was in the pastime of pastime was a part of this pastime where Ravana carries Maya Sita to Lanka. So after reading this proof from Varaha Purana, the Brahmana becomes jubilant. So this is the second time when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes second time to see the Brahmana. So this is another pastime so of Lord Rama. So there is another pastime from Chaitanya Charitamrita itself that there was one Ramadas who was always chanting the name of Lord Ram. So when he was always chanting the name of Lord Ram, so always 24 hours uh, he could never stop even for a moment chanting the Lord's name, even while sleeping. He was always so immersed in the thoughts of Lord Ram, chanting the names of Lord Ram. So Gopala Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Raghunatha Dasa Goswami uh, had was coming to Jagannath Puri to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So on his way, he met this devotee who was a great devotee of Lord Rama, always chanting the names of Lord Rama. So while on his way, he was so attracted by this personality Ramdas that he started serving him. Actually, Raghunath Das Goswami started serving him. So when he was serving, so then finally, so both of them came to Puri, and finally they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they offered obeisances. So immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Raghunath Das Goswami, but he did not even care to wish Ramdas. So Raghunatha Dasa Goswami was completely surprised why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not even wish him, did not even give him give him a reception. So at least smile at him or encourage him, or why he did not do that. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells him that this person is chanting the names of Lord Ram, but he wants to become one with Ram. So his intention is not to serve Lord Ram nor become a devotee of Lord Ram, but he wants to become one with Lord Ram. This is Sahyajya Mukti. He has the desire of Sahyajya Mukti. So which is not one of the 5 kinds of mukti which is recommended in the Vaishnava tradition. So somebody may be chanting Lord Ram's name, but if he has the desire of merging with the Lord, so then such kind of a Vaishnava liberation, such kind of a liberation is not recommended for the Vaishnavas. So because the devotee always wants to maintain his identity and always wants to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Never do they want to lose their identity. So this is Vaishnava tradition. The Vaishnava tradition is that the living entity always maintains its identity either in the liberated state or in the conditioned state. So in the conditioned state, so when he takes the shelter of the Lord, takes the shelter of the process of devotional service, so he continues the process of devotional service. So then gradually become purified. So start serving the Lord. Even in this same body, he can continue serving the Lord as long as he is here in this material world. And even after liberation, go back to Vaikuntha or Golaka and still continue serving the Lord, but still maintains his identity. But many people are like that. They take the shelter of the process of devotional service, but their intention is not to perform devotional service to the Supreme Lord, rather want to merge. So this kind of activities are not recommended. this kind of intentions and conceptions are not Vaishnava conceptions, are not conceptions which are conducive to devotional service. So these are also different kind of demoniac mentalities, so which hamper the path of devotional service. So in the age of Kali Yuga, which is an age of disturbance, so there are so many anarthas in the heart, which are all representation of uh, the demoniac mentality. So where we want to enjoy the uh, people who want to enjoy this material world, or without serving the Supreme Lord, or of the nature of Ravana, or the demoniac mentality. So we have to give up this demoniac mentality by the proper process of hearing through the Guru Parampara. So somebody may apparently seem to be a devotee, but may not be a devotee. But somebody who takes the shelter of the bona fide process connected to the Guru Parampara, take the shelter of the Guru Parampara. So, and surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, will receive the enlightenment of becoming a devotee of the Lord, serving the Lord, and finally going back home, back to Godhead. So, so there are so many things which we have to take the learnings um from Ramayana. So, so sorry I could not continue with the Kanda pastimes. We have very limited time. So maybe some other day I will tell you the pastime of how the whole war took place between Lord Rama and Ravana, and how the different warriors on the side of Ravana, they got killed by Lakshmana, Hanuman, Vibhishana. So the great warriors, Angada, Leela. So many wonderful pastimes are there which I can narrate, and this Ramakatha can go on for another 1 hour. But we have many learnings to take from Chetan Charitamrita connected to, so which I thought was more preferable. So um, so request all the devotees to kindly pardon me, because I could not take you to the conclusion of Ramayana, conclusion of the Yuddha Kanda, where Lord Rama kills Ravana. So just give me 3-4 minutes. So with your permission, I will narrate this pastime of how Ravana was killed. So I hope this is okay with all the devotees. 5 minutes.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. So then we can see how, because today is Vijayadashami, I wanted to tell that portion of the Yuddha Kanda where Lord Rama kills Ravana. So it's a fierce duel which is going on between Lord Rama and Ravana, and so for every arrow which is shot by Ravana, so Lord Rama is giving a befitting reply. So, and it was such a fierce duel which went on between, and it went on for days and nights together. So, and nobody, Lord Rama could not gain an upper hand over Ravana. So, and he was not waiting for the most awaited victory of killing Ravana was not to be seen. So Malati is one of he is the charioteer of Indra's chariot, on whom Lord Rama is situated, and is fighting war against Ravana. So he advises, my lord, you are the supreme personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Why don't you use your supreme prowess and kill this demon, uh, demon king? So using the most powerful weapon, Brahmastra. So finally, the Lord. So after a fierce duel between Ravana and Rama, so Ravana is completely devastated. He loses all his strength, and his charioteer of Ravana, he takes him aside, because he was almost on the verge of death. So he thought it was wise for him to take Ravana away. So during that time, Agastya Muni comes and gives him the Aditya Hridaya. So he tells him, you chant the Aditya Hridaya mantra. So when it is chanted, he gives the meaning of the mantra and also tell him when you chant the Aditya Hridaya mantra is the mantra which is offered in prayers to the sun god. So Aditya means sun. So by offering these prayers, all the auspiciousness will descend and victory is sure for the person who chants this mantra. So after chanting this mantra, Lord Rama gains transcendental energy and he again goes with in the he goes with redoubled strength to fight against Ravana. So and finally he uses the weapon given by Agastya Muni. So when he was in Dandakaranya. So he asks Vibhishana, what is the secret? I'm trying to kill him. Every time I will chop his head down, so the head immediately bounces back. So I have already almost hundreds of times I have put his head down. So almost all tens of his heads, but they are all bouncing back again, like a magician's feet. So what to do now? So then Vibhishana tells him the secret that he has the Amrita Kalasha in his heart. So unless the Kalasha, the Amrita, which is in the which is in which is stored in the pot within his heart is dried up. So the heads will keep bouncing back and he'll remain alive. So after hearing this, and after the pastime narrate, after the uh, advice given by Agastya Muni, taking the advice seriously, he uses the weapon given by Agastya Muni. This uh, weapon is a very powerful weapon, which has the potency of Agni, the sun god, Lord Brahma, and uh, and one more demigod, Varuna. So all these four demigods, the potency of the four demigods, and the weight of the weapon is also compared to has the potency of the Meru mountain. So and the feathers of this arrow were given by Garuda Dev. So with all these wonderful features, Lord Rama uses this weapon with chanting the Aditya Hridaya mantra. So when the Lord shoots this weapon, the weapon directly enters the heart. It dries up the nectar which is stored in the kumbha of Ravana's heart, and he falls down dead with vomiting blood from all the 10 mouths, and he crashes to the ground. So this is the end of Ravana. So it's a very beautiful narration. Everybody has to read this Yuddhakanda portion as to how many weapons were used in the duel between Lord Rama and Ravana. So and how every attempt of Ravana was defeated. So similarly, we find that many people. So somebody like Ravana and all the powerful sons of Ravana like Indrajit. So killing of Indrajit was another great event. Killing of Kumbhakarna. All these great warriors who were on the side of Ravana was a task which is not possible by any ordinary. Therefore, whatever activities the Lord does is unparalleled. So and it is unimitable. So the way the Lord constructs the bridge over Lanka, that's another wonderful feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So all these wonderful feats are not inimitable. There are so many pseudo incarnations of the so many pseudo sadhus and godly men who are claiming themselves to be God. So, but they do not really know what is the prowess of God. So, if one has to understand what is the prowess of the Supreme Personality, what are his potencies, what is the ability. So, one and what is the greatness of the Lord. One has to read Ramayana and this wonderful narration of how these wonderful war that took place between Lord Rama and Ravana. One has to read this portion of the Yuddha Kanda to understand the supreme potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, and we'll be fully convinced. And all these wonderful narrations and pastimes of the Lord are so much soothing to the heart and the ears of the listener, and especially the devotees of the Lord. It's like nectar pouring into the ear of the devotee. So there are many pastimes like this, so which we can narrate in the future also. So we'll also try to organize a wonderful Rama Katha. So we are trying for that. So and most of you know that Sundar Nityananda Prabhu is a wonderful narrator of the Ramayana pastimes. So we'll try to get Prabhu and organize during the Kartik month at least for 4 days to have the pastimes of Ramayana. So thank you all very much for your patient hearing. So Ramachandra Bhagavan ki jai, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai,
Jai.
Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada
Jai.
ki jai. Hare
Jai.
Jai.
So thank you all very much for your patient hearing. So about the Rama Vijayotsav, today is Vijayadashami, and especially for the devotees. So we connect, we see everything in the light of its connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, and we celebrate this as Rama Vijayotsav. So may this Rama Vijayotsav with the chanting of the Sankirtana movement, with the chanting of the holy names of the Lord and following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya. So with this Sankirtana, so drive away the Ravana like mentality in the hearts of the devotees, and create an eternal place for the Lord to be situated in the heart. So thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. So anybody has any doubts?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Prabhu,
Yes,
in chat box.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, we have a couple of questions in chat box.
Yeah.
Thanks Prabhu. In short, you explained Yuddha Kanda very well. I have one question, Prabhu. It's a normally a lot of people running mind. As a Supreme Personality of Godhead itself, Rama, none other than. But during the war, why Rama is chanted Aditya Hudayam, Prabhu? It's a demigod prayer, right? What is the reason behind, Prabhu?
So here the Lord, here the Supreme Lord has, even though Lord Rama has appeared as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so he has come to establish a particular principle. So as in the human form. So actually Ravana was so proud that he had asked benedictions not to be killed by any of the demigods, the Rakshasas, Kinnaras, Yakshas, Gandharvas, any of them, except for the human beings. He thought that the human beings are too weak for him. So here the Lord has appeared in the form of Ramachandra. So as a human being. So here he's showing there are two aspects. One is the aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is also showing the human side of the aspect also. So therefore, out of respect for the sun god, so he is chanting the Aditya Hridayam prayers. So on the recommendation of Agastya Muni. So this is one feature, one of the human side. So maybe you can reserve this question. So I may not have given you the very convincing answer. You reserve this question when
No.
Sundar Prabhu narrates this pastime. He will give you the nitty-gritties of this Aditya Hridaya mantra.
Okay, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, we have a time, Prabhu. We have a couple of questions in chat box. How it is, Prabhu?
So if everybody is okay, they have time. So others who do not have time, they can drop off. So devotees who have time can stay back. I will try to answer.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, just to add to, I think, Kalyan Prabhu's question only, Prabhu. Normally, like we know that Supreme Personality of Godhead, like he gives also the powers to the demigods. So here, as you said, like one is the sun god, then he takes from Brahmastra. Brahma means he, again, like the weapons used by the demigods only are means they pay. Is being used by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, like, how do we understand this, Prabhu? Because it is little contradictory, right? But still, like, yes, we know if Rama would have, if he wanted, he would have killed Ravana. But yes, again, like he prays to the demigods and he uses the weapons given by the demigods. So this is a bit. How do we understand this, Prabhu? That's what.
So let's reserve this question.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, no problem.
So we will have this Ramayana pastimes because I have not gone into the nitty-gritties of this Ramayana, this thing, pastimes study. I have also read this Ramayana as a story.
Okay.
So we have to see the version of the Acharyas. The Acharyas have given many tikas. So I think Sundar Prabhu has read all these tikas also. Tikas means the commentaries given by the Acharyas as to why the Lord behaved in this way, why the Lord acted in that way. So all these things are very beautifully explained by the Acharyas. So that's the reason we have to read the commentaries of the Acharyas many a times. So even when we see the Ramayana as a movie, so we may not be in a position to appreciate the nitty-gritties of why it may appear ordinary. So, but there are so many nitty-gritties involved. So in understanding the understanding why the Lord behaved in a particular way. So for this, the tikas, the commentaries of the acharyas have to be read and understood. So let us reserve this question. Sundar Prabhu has read these commentaries also. So we can reserve these questions and we can answer this question.
Okay.
Maybe Sundar Prabhu will give you a very convincing answer on this aspect.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna,
Okay,
sir.
Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu.
Ah.
Prabhu, I have a doubt, Prabhu.
Ah. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
When Krishna steals or does anything, we glorify it because he is the absolute truth. So the Mayavadis, they say that the living entities are also absolute. Is that correct?
No, they say that the Mayavadis have a misconception. So they try to equate the Supreme Personality of Godhead with the Jiva. So which is not true. So because the Acharyas give the example of the sun and the sunshine. So they equate the sunshine with the sun, which is not true. Sunshine is just a part of the sun. So similarly, there is a description given in Srimad Bhagavatam about how the Lord expands himself. So one is he expands himself as his own expansions called as the Vishnu Tattva expansions. And the second one is called as the integrated expansions called the Vibhinamsha expansions. The Jiva Tattva falls under the category of Vibhinamsha expansions of the Lord, integrated expansions. It is just like you have fire. From the fire, heat and light is emanated. So heat cannot be compared. Heat cannot be equated with the fire. Heat is an emanation from the fire. Similarly, there is a source of energy and also the energy of the Lord. So Krishna is the source of the energy, and we are a part of the marginal energy of the Lord. So that is how we cannot compare ourselves with the Supreme Lord. So which is a very wrong conception of the Mayavadis. Hare Krishna. Hasini Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Anisha and Hasini. So
Yes,
answer? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, Anudip here.
Yeah, Anudip.
Prabhuji, one more question. So Hasini and Harini, they asked, so demigods, so these demons, they hate demigods, but at the same time, these demons, when they want boons, they go and approach demigods. So how can we understand? This is question by Hasini.
Okay. The demigods, so the worshippers of the demigods. So we have to see what is the mood of the worshippers of the demigods. So Krishna clearly explains this in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna says, so Kamairsthairtar Hitajnana Prapadyantanya Devata Tam Tam Niyata Ashya Prakte Niyata Swaya. So there is a, if you want to get a boon from a particular demigod, you have to you have to follow a prescribed method of worship. So meant for worshipping that particular demigod. When you follow that prescribed method for worshipping that particular demigod, by the mercy of the demigod, you will get a particular boon. So they are not interested in serving the demigod. So they know that this demigod is capable of giving a particular boon. So, and if I worship that particular demigod in a prescribed method mentioned in the scriptures, I can approach the demigod, take the boon from the demigod, and also utilize it against him. So actually, he is also interested he is also having a mentality to enjoy this material world independent of the Supreme Lord. So the demigods, they are actually devotees of the Lord, but they are Sakama Bhaktas. They also have a desire to enjoy this material world. So actually, when there are two aspects to the demigod, one is the aspect of the demigod and one is the aspect of a devotee, because the demigods are all devotees of the Lord. So usually the demons, they take advantage of the demigod aspect. They take boons from the particular demigod and they try to harm them also, because they want to capture their position, because the facilities given to the demigods are higher than that is available on other planets. So they want to use the boons given by the demigod, attack them and displace them and enjoy their position. So this is the mentality of the demons. So whereas they also have a devotee aspect. So just like we see in the case of Prachetas, so or we see in the case of Prachetas is one example. So when they were trying to approach Lord Vishnu, so the demigods actually, Lord Shiva, so gave them a particular mantra. So they gave this called as the Rudra Gita, which is mentioned in the 4th canto of Bhagavatam. So where the demigods were given a particular mantra, by chanting the mantra, they would approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So using the advice given by Lord Shiva, they chanted the mantra and very soon got the benediction of having the darshan of the Lord face to face. And there was also another Brahmana who was worshipping Lord Shiva. He was a very good Brahmana. So almost he had all the good qualities of a Brahmana, but he had a material desire. So to satisfy his wife, so he wanted some material benediction, material boon. So when he approached Lord Shiva, so that particular Lord Shiva actually guided him to Sanatana Goswami. So when he went to Sanatana Goswami, he asked for the most valuable thing which is available with him. So then Sanatana Goswami pointed at the Chintamani. So he took the Chintamani, so and went back home. So then he started contemplating. So if this is the most valuable thing, then why did Sanatana Goswami keep it in the place of a dust, keep it along with the heap of dust? So he should have something more valuable. If something is more valuable, you will keep it very confidentially and in a very sacred place. So why there must be something better than this? So then he goes back to Sanatana Goswami and asks him, definitely there is something more valuable than this. Lord Shiva would not have sent me to you for this. There's something more valuable. So then Sanatana Goswami asks him to throw away that Chintamani and tells him the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the most important thing, so which anybody can get. So you accept this Maha Mantra and make your life perfect. So this is what actually Lord Shiva was indicating. He was not indicating to something material. This is what he wanted to give you. So then Upon the advice of Sanatana Goswami, he becomes a devotee of the Lord. So that way, the demigods, they have two aspects. One is the aspect of a devotee, one is the aspect of a demigod. So depending on the intention with which they worship, they get the benedictions accordingly. So because their hearts are completely covered by lust, so they cannot know what is beneficial for them. They think that material enjoyment is beneficial for them, which will ultimately lead to their own destruction. So somebody who is wise and intelligent will always worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who purifies the devotee within the heart of his heart. So and makes his way, makes his journey back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So anybody else has any other question?
Prabhu, I have another doubt. Can I ask Prabhu?
Yeah, Mataji.
Prabhu, the chat box, there's one more question from Ganesh Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu.
How many years back Ramayana happened, Prabhu?
So Ramana happened in Treta Yuga. So we can calculate if Kali Yuga is 4,32,000 years, twice the number of years is Dwapar Yuga, and thrice the number of years is Treta Yuga. So depending on that calculation, we can have a material calculation of when Ramayana happened. This is one aspect of looking at Ramayana. So, and another aspect is that we need not worry too much about the chronological order and the time calculation of when Ramayana happened, because these are all bona fide histories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Vede Ramayana Sheva Purane Bharate Tata. So, Adi Antyecha Madhyecha Sarvatra Harigiyate. So, these are all recorded histories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We need not worry too much about the chronological order, but it is actually stated that it happened in Treta Yuga. So as we can also have the time calculation. So everything is there in the scriptures. The time calculation part, everything is given. So if you want to trace the history, we can do it this way. We can go by the time calculation. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Actually, Prabhuji, one of my Bhakti Raja member, he asked that. That's what because
So we can
couple of
take this calculation like this.
yeah.
Or we need not worry too much about the chronological order. Usually, even in Srimad Bhagavatam also, we need not worry too much about the chronological order of the events. It may have happened in some Manvantara. So maybe not this Manvantara, this current Manvantara. So it is mentioned that Lord Varaha's pastime, one took place in the Chakshashu Manu period, and one in one is one was Vaivasvata Manu and one is Chakshashu Manu. So one is the Shweta Varaha pastime and one is the Varaha pastime. They mention like this. So we need not worry too much about the chronological order of the events. So all these recorded histories of the pastimes of the Lord are the real histories which have taken place. So and the devotee need not cherish any doubts. So and the pastimes of the Lord can be realized even now. So it depends on the consciousness of the devotee. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita pastime also, there was one devotee, Murari Gupta. So, and he had a great desire to witness the four incarnation of the Lord, that is the Varaha incarnation of the Lord. So he requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to show this Varaha Avatara. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to fulfill the desire of Murari Gupta, he immediately transforms himself into the form of a transcendental board. So measuring the sky and the universe. So and Murari Gupta has this wonderful darshan of the Lord. So the pastime of the Lord can happen can be witnessed any time by a pure devotee of God. So it is mentioned that when the heart of a devotee is surcharged with the transcendental vision, so this vision is not ordinary, and this vision is developed by the practice of devotional service, and the heart of a devotee is purified by the process of devotional service, and he can witness the pastimes of the Lord televised in his heart. This is what Prabhupada writes in the purports. Televised in the heart of a devotee. Televised in the heart of a devotee in the sense, Prabhupada gives an example that suppose somebody wants to witness a football match happening some thousands of miles away from your sitting place. So that can be televised through the medium of a television. So similarly, the pastimes of the Lord, which is happening hundreds and thousands of miles away, hundreds and thousands of miles, which is beyond our imagination in the Vaikuntha Lokas and the Goloka Vrindavan, can be televised in the heart of a devotee. So it purely depends on the consciousness of the person. So such pastimes were actually witnessed by Rupa Goswami Prabhupada and Sanatana Goswami. So we can see in their pastimes that how they could witness the pastimes happening in Goloka Vrindavan. So such vision can be developed in the state of pure consciousness. So similarly, all these pastimes of the Lord, so the devotee, when they develop desires, the Lord will give darshan to the pure devotee of the Lord. So it is all purely based on the transcendental relationship. So, and which is when our consciousness becomes purified by the process of devotional service. So all these things can be witnessed. So not otherwise. There are so many bogus propaganda propagandists who are making claims that we can have the darshan of the Lord. So we have seen the darshan of the Lord, all that. So, but Prabhupada asked counter questions by saying, if you have actually seen God, then what is the transformation? Where is the transformation of the heart? So we have to see the pastimes of the Lord. We have to see this in the light of Srimad Bhagavatam as to what happened to Dhruva Maharaj when he had the darshan of the Lord. What happened to Dhruva Maharaj? All his material desires completely vanished, and he started developing transcendental loving feelings towards the Lord. So all the ignorance of Lord and ignorance in the heart is completely eradicated. So, and he develops a desire for rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. So one has to develop this desire to serve the Lord. So when he has actually had the darshan of the Lord. So, and somebody who is witnessing this, if somebody is witnessing the pastimes of the Lord, or if somebody is having this darshan, so you can see they want to continue serving the Lord all the time. It's like the Shadgosamis of Vrindavan. So what they were seeing actually, what they were doing. So on the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, hardly they used to sleep for a hour or two. So they used to scrutinizingly study all the Vedic scriptures, and they wanted to establish the true principles of religion. So by their mercy, today we are reading Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion. So this ISKCON is established on the principles of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. So such wonderful things will happen when one witnesses the Lord in the heart, which is that love is manifested in terms of lot of physiological activities as a service to the Lord and his devotees. Hare Krishna. Ganesh Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Actually, we took more than the normal scheduled time of yours. More than 30 minutes we took, Prabhu. Sorry for that.
Okay. No problem, Prabhu. Happy to discuss about the Lord and his wonderful pastimes. So maybe I will read the version of the Acharyas also. Maybe in due course of time, I can give you a better explanation about on all these different aspects of the wonderful pastimes of the Lord. So in the meanwhile, we'll keep it paused for some time before Sundar Nityananda Prabhu comes and gives the explanation, Tika, from different Acharyas. Hare Krishna.
Okay, no problem.
So thank you all very much.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. So Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Jagadishwar Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. I
Jai.
request all devotees to chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra as a token of respect and gratitude to Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
So nanu host తెలుగు క్లాస్
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, धन्यवाद प्रणाम.
Andeep Prabhu, you're saying something?
ప్రభు సో నన్ను హోస్ట్ చేయి. సో ఇప్పుడు తెలుగు క్లాస్ జరుగుతుంది.
Okay, bro. I'm making host, Prabhu. Okay.
ఓకే ప్రభు, థ్యాంక్ యూ ప్రభు, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
హరే కృష్ణ, థ్యాంక్ యూ. Okay. So Hare Krishna. So devotees. So sir, now Telugu class is going to start. So who and all Telugu devotees are there, so they can continue. So, Hare Krishna. So Hare Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, धन्यवाद प्रणाम. Prabhuji, చెప్పండి.
Prabhuji. మీరు స్టార్ట్ చేయండి Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. यशमती. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णाय
How can I know? For the posting of
सर्वविघ्न विनाशक नरसिंह देव भगवान की, भक्तवत्सल प्रहलाद महाराज की, तंत्र श्रीमन महाप्रभु की, वृंददेव तुलसी महारानी की, जगन्नाथ सुभद्रा माई महादेव की, जगतगुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की, पतित पावन गुरु महाराज की, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories Guru Gauranga, all glories to Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna. యాక్చువల్లీ టైం 7 నుంచి 7:30 నుంచి 7:30 అయిపోయింది. సారీ, అది వేరే క్లాస్ ఉండడం వల్ల ఆలస్యమైంది. నేను వాట్సాప్ లో ఇది షేర్ చేశాను, అది ఎవరన్నా చదవగలుగుతారా? దాన్ని యాక్చువల్లీ మంగళాచరణ్ చెప్తారు. మంగళాచరణ్ ఎవరు చదువుతారు? హరే కృష్ణ.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
హరే కృష్ణ మాతాజీ చెప్పండి మాతాజీ.
Om Agnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakturamritam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sampadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Lalita Sri He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Brahma Hari Priye Vancha
కృపా సింధుభేవచ పతితానాం పావనేభ్యో వైష్ణవేభ్యో నమో నమః.
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Vaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna
కృష్ణ 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 హరే హరే, హరే రామ హరే రామ 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 హరే హరే. థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ. మాతాజీ ఇంతకు ముందు ఎప్పుడైనా చదివారా? ఎవరైనా విన్నారా? హరే కృష్ణ. ఇంతకు ముందు ఎక్కడైనా విన్నారా? ఎక్కడైనా చదివారా? ఇది
భగవద్గీతలోనే ఉంది ప్రభు స్టార్టింగ్.
నైస్ నైస్.
ఇది చదివి మళ్ళా భగవద్గీత స్టార్ట్ చేయాలా ప్రభు?
అట్లా కాదు మాస్టర్, ఇది యాక్చువల్లీ ఇది చదివితే ఇంకా గుడ్. యాక్చువల్లీ వచ్చి మంగళాచరణ్ చెప్తారు అనమాట. ఇది చదివితే దీంట్లో వచ్చి ఫస్ట్ నుంచి గ్లోరిఫికేషన్ ఆఫ్ లార్డ్, మళ్ళీ గురువుల గ్లోరిఫికేషన్ ఉంటుంది, మళ్ళీ లాస్ట్ లో వచ్చి మనం ఈ భగవద్గీత చదివే ముందు చదివిన